producers. This is your publisher, Kristen Brinley, and I'm here with the wonderful JoJo Stansfield. Thank you so much for being with us.
It's an honor.
Absolutely. You know, it was an honor to have you on our cover. I love that boat, by the way. Living a Legacy, our November 2021 edition. Definitely check it out if you haven't read it already. And Joan, JoJo, which I've known you for a nice long time. So I love JoJo though. So $500 million in career sales, over 50 million last year. Washingtonian's best 7 years in a row, real producer all 5 years. 2 years, I think, DC luxury, modern luxury, 2
Right.
years. I mean,
Right.
just killing it, doing a great job. I love your tagline though, spoiling clients every day. And you really get a bang out of truly making a difference in people's lives. So honored to have you on, and tell us your story. Like, why real estate? How'd this happen?
Oh, sure. That's a great story. So many years ago, I was in between schools and college, and the phone rang, and I got an awesome opportunity to move to Capitol Hill, Washington, D.C. Had no idea where Washington, D.C. was. And I worked on the Hill for a while and somehow ended up in the White House, serving several presidents as a transcriber, typing up all the verbatim transcripts for the press corps and traveling all over the world. It was phenomenal. And
I bet you have some stories. Yeah.
and at some point in time, I couldn't travel because I was, well, I'll back up. I had a love for real estate when I got married and moved to Georgia. And I started a family quicker than planned. And I just couldn't work. I was too sick, and with my pregnancy had a rough time, but I had started in real estate. So that I went into helping a company with leasing properties, and I just really enjoyed real estate. So once I became a single mother, several years fast forward, unfortunately, I could no longer travel. I was back in Washington, back at the White House, having a ball and leaving my little girl and going to China. I just couldn't do it. So I started the corporate ladder up on HR and high-tech industries and running offices and being an executive assistant and really having a great time with that career because I love people. And then I had a lull, and I said, I'm going to get somebody put a bug in my ear. And I said, I'm going back to real estate because now my daughter is in college and I can just take off and do this. And I did. And I've never looked back.
Well, you have a passion for it. Like, tell us about your business. Like, how did that go once you got into real estate?
Yeah. So I'm a little bit crazy about people. And it kind of runs in the family. I have a brother that's sort of a carbon copy of me, or I'm a carbon copy of him. And we are passionate about people and making a difference in people's lives. And that just drives me. It brings me so much joy. So real estate, you think about the biggest investment in most people's lives, especially first-time home buyers, knowing how to navigate through the process and helping them make right choices and avoid a lot of mistakes and make decisions and elicit trust in people. I just get a roll on that. It's so fun. So, and then it's moved to, move up buyers and downsizers and investors. And now I'm helping others build wealth, which is really exciting as I've learned to do so through real estate. And now I have a couple of Airbnbs and a couple of rental homes.
Yeah, the one time we were talking one time, and you're like, yeah, I accumulated 4 in 1 year. I was like, good Lord. And you've expanded into Maryland, and you have homes in both, right? DC or
Right.
Virginia and Maryland. Can you tell us a little bit about like Maryland and what you're doing there now too? And you're a lot of referral business.
Sure. We're over 95% referrals because if you treat people really well, and especially with our tagline, spoiling clients every day, we work hard to be sure that we do that and get rave reviews, then we end up getting their brother, their sister, their kids, their parents, their neighbors or coworkers, and the phone keeps ringing, and it's a blessing. It's a beautiful thing. So having lived in DC and lived in Virginia and Maryland, now I'm in Maryland, my team's in Virginia, and I still have predominantly Virginia business. I'm expanding in Maryland and loving it. I'm only a 45-minute drive to Alexandria, and I can be in Tyson's in 1 hour, which is where we used to live. So we still have a home in Virginia, and we have 4 here in Maryland. And I get bored easily. So I like variety. I've always loved variety, which real estate's a great career for people that no 2 days are the same, no two transactions are the same, and no individuals are the same. So it's never ever a dull moment.
Never a dull moment. Define success for us. Like, what's success to you, JoJo?
It's such a great question. Success to me, as it's turned out, is not, not the money, not the prestige, the awards, all that's really good. It's the fact that I have a job, or even a deeper term, of vocation that I absolutely love. So many people have to work. I worked for years just paying the mortgage, being a single mother, taking care of my daughter. And I was working, and it wasn't something I got excited about going in to do every day. Real estate, there's not one morning I don't wake up, and because I set my own schedule, which is kind of a joke, because I can work, there's 25 hours a day and 8 days a week. But I can stop and do what I want. I can succeed if I want, and I can sit back and take a break if I want, but I never do. I'm a workaholic, but really my work is fun. And I'm definitely JoJo, fun, networking, Stansfield. Those are my two middle names, networking and fun. So I love to have fun. We're having fun today, you and me, Kristen. We had fun when we talked about this a week or so ago. And it's just a blast. Real estate's a blast. And if you love people, it's really easy. And if you don't love people, and people you get a people hangover, or you just need a lot of quiet and a lot of me time, it may not be the career for you. Me, I love my downtime, but my downtime, I'm with people, my husband, my family, neighbors, friends.
That leads into like, what are your hobbies outside of like this boat is really nice. I just want to say.
Thank you. Yeah, we're hoping to upgrade our boat. That's our first boat. We've had her for 3 years. My hobbies have changed now. I love picking crabs, because we get a lot of crabs right here off the dock. And I love showing people around this part of the Western Shore of Maryland, which most people are only familiar with the Eastern Shore, which is far more expensive and farther, because you have to go over the Bay Bridge, you have to hit Route 50, and it's really quite a schlep. My other hobbies are boating. It's always been swimming. I'm an outdoor enthusiast, and my best friend, my husband, is also an outdoor enthusiast. So we love to be outdoors, hiking, kayaking, stand-up paddle, running, walking, boating.
Speaking of your husband, tell us about your family a little bit, like about him, about,
Sure.
yeah.
Well, what's great is I met my husband on Match.com, and years ago, the thought came to mind: need a house, need a spouse, let JoJo help you with the click of a mouse. That thought never left me. To me, it's a God thing. He planted that in my brain, and I eventually did something with it. Just last year, I did a podcast with a neighbor who strangely lives up the street and produces podcasts, and was a very senior person at WMAL for many decades. And we had a lot of fun. We did a podcast. We created Listed for Love. And so Listed for Love is all about the parallels of real estate and romance. It's actually quite funny. And my belief is there's a lid for every pot. I got on online dating very quickly. My husband found me. I was off. I was happy. I tell people I ran a targeted campaign. And to me, if you're lonely and you want to have a significant other, a companion, they're online waiting for you. And so a lot of women are shy. I've started mostly with women, or they've had a bad experience, or they don't know how to present themselves. And just like when you're selling a home, it's all about the pictures, and the words matter. Maybe you need a home inspection. Maybe you need to get an appraisal. So we talk people through that. The podcast is hilarious. I co-produced it with a local DC talent who's now on her way to LA, Sarah Fraser. She's a hoot. And we had title people on, stagers on, clients, all success stories, and all clients and people on my team. And we talked
We'll have to put the
real
link.
estate.
We'll have to put the link below for that. I think that is, that's
Listed for Love, the number 4, listedforlove.com.
Listedforlove.com. That is fantastic. Well, JoJo, what would you like to be remembered for?
So, the 3 most important things in life, they've interviewed people that were far, up in their very high ages, 90s or whatever. And the top 3 things are, most people would guess the first is spend more time with family and people you love. The number 2 is take more risks. And women aren't usually as big a risk takers as men. And the other is leave a legacy. And my mom left a legacy, and I want to leave a legacy. And my legacy is very spiritual, as well as, just making sure that I make a difference in people's lives. And through that, I just, Christ commanded that we love our neighbors, and we need to love our neighbors. And that means your next door neighbors, that means your coworkers, your friends, and in real estate, it's your clients. And when you love people and you really put their needs first, they smell it a mile away and they come to you because they know you're going to take great care of them. So that's the legacy I want to leave. I made people feel really good, and I was someone they could trust, and that helped and made a difference in their lives.
Beautiful. We appreciate, well, if you haven't checked out her story, make sure you do. You heard it here at Real Producers. JoJo, thank you so much for being with us.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. It was so fun. Loved it.
Bye, everybody.